I pray for vision, I pray for wisdom, I pray for weapons against the system. I pray for freedom to free the victims, to heal the brain, no pain inflict them. I pray for real, I pray for real. I talk to God, then wait for real. Can't fake the fun, can't fake the feel. I pray for fun, I pray for real. I pray for y'all. I pray for y'all.
Hello and good evening to everyone. We're on another episode of CYA, Confessions of a Young Adult. I am your main host, Cedric Carter, Minister Cedric Carter, and I have my co-host, my man,
Elijah Peterson.
And then we have a guest today, her second time being on the show, Miss Joy. Joy, introduce yourself again.
Hi, I'm Joy McKinley. I'm 20 years old, and I'm a member of RFBC.
Now, today we're going to do things a little bit different. For our first topic, we're going to talk about some of the trending news, trending topics that's going on around the world right now, and it's a couple of them that we're going to really dive into just to be informative and just to allow our opinions and our thoughts, to be out there on certain topics as a young adult.
All right, we're going to go ahead and kick this off with the Walmart human trafficking incident that I found. So basically, there was a 3-year-old kid that went missing in Truro, Nova Scotia. I don't know where this is. But he went missing in Walmart, and now Walmart has a toy box on their website with the name Dylan on it, and they're selling it for $10,000.
Oh my God.
So
that's the boy
a lot of
that's
people
missing,
started,
right?
yeah, a lot of people started researching, like, let's check the reviews on this toy box, and they're like, there's only one left in stock, but none of the rest of them have been sold with the name Dylan on it. It's just one. So they kind of dug deeper, and I don't know if a lot of y'all know, but Walmart is intertwined with Wayfair, and Wayfair just got through a case with human trafficking as well. So
like Supreme Court, like big time court?
Big time. I mean, they found, on July 12th, 2020, they found several human bodies inside a truck at Walmart. You know how like the 18-wheelers are parked in the parking lot?
Yeah.
They found bodies inside one of those 18-wheelers.
See, you remember a couple shows ago, you was like, God needs to come down and you know what I'm saying, take order. Like, this would be one of those, like, he got to come down immediately.
Yeah.
And, you know what I'm saying? But I'll let you continue on with
you got something to say about this?
No, I remember seeing something about Wayfair. Like, I remember there was, like, videos of people on the website and seeing couches that were, like, $12,000 couches.
Yeah.
And it was just, like, a couch like this. And it was just, like, and the name was, like, oh, this is Sasha
Yeah,
Pierce or something. And it's just, it was weird. I was like, why are you paying $12,000 for this basic couch?
And I'm glad that you said that.
Walmart.com or?
No, this was Wayfair.
Oh, okay.
They're, like, naming the couches after, like, human names.
Yeah.
And Larry Johnson was like, he tweeted and said, wow, in 1973, a movie that was set to be placed in 2022, Sonia Green was an actor on there, and the girls were referred to as furniture by the elite, which the elite is Walmart. That's their nickname.
No.
And now Wayfair and the elites are caught up in a scandal with young women being named as furniture, as she said, and they're selling them.
This is a wicked world.
It is, man.
I don't even know how long it's been going on.
Oh.
Like, and who was the one who was just like, I'm going to do some shopping and just saw, like, this is not adding up. Because it had to be going on for some years.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but if you really want to dig into it, child trafficking has really been going on for a long time. We can go back into the beginning of the Roman Catholics, these popes, and some of their behaviors that that they have towards these little boys.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate because I have a little boy, you know what I mean? And,
Oh yeah, man.
And I could only imagine what these parents go through. And that's the thing I be wanting to know. You know what I mean? Like the powers that be within the Roman Catholics and stuff like that. These popes getting busted, with child trafficking or what is it called? I can't think of the word, when they assault a kid, not assault a kid, but like they sexually touching a kid. It sounds so disgusting.
Yeah.
But
It does, man.
but I can't think of the legal, like if they were to get caught for, you know what I mean? What I can't think of the word, but it goes back a long way. It's really, ooh, we live. You can really go deep into that child trafficking stuff because the powers that be really use kids. I've read. Now I ain't never been involved with nothing, but just things I've read and studied. How these elites, powers that be, are part of cults, and these cults are very demonic, and they use these kids as rituals, either through sex or through their blood, stuff like that. It gets very
Grotesque.
yeah, and yeah, that's why we can go a long way. You know what I mean? We can go a long way with this. So it's really something, unfortunately, that is really been going on for a long time.
Yeah.
And it's utterly disgusting to me. I don't want to say too much because I might say the wrong thing, but it's truly disgusting. Like I don't. What do y'all? You have a boy.
Two
Like
boys.
you have two boys. One goes missing or something like that. You find out as a parent your son is being sold on Wayfair. I'm saying it right, Wayfair, right? And
Well, now Walmart is doing it on their app as well too.
So Walmart is using your son's name, and you find out this information. How are you reacting?
Man, if I ever see a toy box with my son's name on it, one, I'm buying it so I see what's gonna show up, what's gonna show up at my doorstep,
Yeah.
and then from there I'm following the tracking information, and we gonna find something out.
Oh man. So what about you, Joya? I know you don't have any kids. I know you aspire to have children one day.
And it's gonna be definitely some Halle Berry 911 kind of stuff. Like running, like it's gonna be just me. I'm gonna have to figure it out because I don't trust the government that much. But
Yeah, man.
I don't either. Yeah, for me, man, that goes back to I can't remember the old saying, but I'll basically say this the nice way. All that Christian talk and all that basically goes out the door.
Oh, yeah.
Some got to be handled. Some, you know what I mean? Any way possible, because I'm always willing to die for my family and those I love. And it's one of those things where if I don't know, I kind of had a situation, not with Jackson, but a friend of mine, can you move, please, sir? A friend of mine had her sister was going through something similar where these weird guys were coming to her job and stuff like that, and it was just like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that stuff is really real, and I hope people don't think that it's a hoax, but it's hard to bring those people in the law, justice of law and stuff like that, when it's the elites, the powers that be that's doing these things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I believe that's what was his name, Jeffrey Epstein. Is that how he says his name? I believe he was part. I believe they killed him because of that. I think that has something to do with it.
yeah,
And a lot
I've never
of
heard of that, Jeffrey.
it's a documentary on Netflix.
Oh,
Yeah.
see,
It's
I don't
really
watch
good. You should
documentaries. I
watch
need
it.
to start watching documentaries, man. I don't watch them.
If you have a Netflix, go watch the documentary. I don't think I said that right. Jeffrey Epstein and his story. A lot of these top-notch elite people, whether it's Oprah, I've even heard Obama name in it.
No,
Unfortunately,
we don't. No.
I know, but I'm just telling you the people we heard in it. All these elite people have been a part of it. Of course, the Clintons.
Yeah.
So hopefully they don't watch this and they start coming after you, boy. You know what I mean? I'm giving up too much information, but yeah, that stuff is dangerous, man, and
Oh, yeah.
a lot of people don't really
But-
pay attention to it.
Going back to Walmart, I had a situation when I was like back in school where Um, I go to school in the Denton area, and during that time, I think it was before spring break, and there was a situation where like multiple girls were getting approached by like a woman who was like, "Do you know about Jesus, God the female?" And
Wow.
so like, and so like they would ask you about his religion and be like, "Oh, you want to go to Bible study with us?" But it turns out it was like that was just a way for them to kidnap you and to like and sell you into trafficking. And so there was like a lot of posts of like females who are just like, "Dang, if someone approaches you that says God the female, like walk away because that's how they get you."
Wow.
And there's been situations where they've been followed to their car and then like following them around the store. And I know for me personally, when I was at my job, I worked on campus, and one of my supervisors was telling me about Jesus, like God the female. And so I was just like,
No.
this, like, they were like, it was like hitting way too close to home. And then I remember when I told like the security on campus, they kind of like looked at me funny, like blew me off.
Because
And
they
it's,
part of it too.
yeah, so it's just like, so like hearing this and then going back to like what I've been to personally, I'm just like, this is hitting way too close to home. And I gotta
yeah.
go back to school.
Oh.
Hey, I don't know if y'all ever noticed, but have y'all noticed that at every Walmart there's always a hotel like right next door?
Don't even speak on that.
Always.
That makes me anxious.
That's
I
where
haven't
that's where
noticed
it's
that.
happening at, man. At the
Now,
hotel
I'm
next
pretty
door.
attentive, but I'm gonna have to start.
Hey, look at every
I'm gonna
Walmart
have to start
hotel right
realizing
next
that.
door. I promise you.
know the one by my mama house got two gas stations, and it's a church across the street and a McDonald's. And then it's a middle school not a middle school, the 9th grade center, I believe, or it might be a middle school. That's on the right side of Walmart, but I haven't.
Hey, go look. I
Man, that
promise
might
you.
just be in the hood or something. Because my mom stayed, unfortunately, I don't want to say unfortunately, but quote unquote the
I know what you
suburbs or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's so disgusting.
All right, y'all ready to tackle this? Let's move on to this Will Smith. Will
So-
Smith and Jada, man.
So Joya, is there any trending news you would like to
So
talk
in
about?
recent news, what really shocked me to my core was hearing this dispute of Will Smith and Jada Smith, which pretty much just they had their red table talk, and I only saw a clip of it, but apparently they were going through a rough patch in their marriage, and they both mutually decided like let's take a space from each other. And during that space from each other, Jada decided she wanted to have another relationship inside of her marriage.
As she called it a quote unquote
Entanglement.
entanglement.
With August Alsina. So yeah, it kind of hurts. You
Why
know?
does it hurt?
Because like the J. Cole song "No Role Models," and he's
Yeah.
like, "You want that Jada Will love."
Ah.
So it's kind of just like it was like from the outside looking
Devastating.
in, like, they had like the perfect marriage. It looked really nice, and so you don't see the inside of it. Like we don't live with them, so you kind of
True,
just like
true.
they're the best. Like they've been together for like 20 years now. Have 2 kids together, both famous, both rich, thriving.
I can say this. Did you say everything you
Yeah,
wanted to
go
say?
ahead.
Any relationship that lasts over 10 years has gone through something. And I have never been married, but I pay attention and I'm attentive to certain things. I ask questions. Any marriage, not relationship, marriage that has been together for a long period of time, sorry to bust everybody's bubble. Now, I'm not saying everybody's relationship. Marriage is this way. But there is a great percentage of marriages that have lasted over 10 years that has gone through something. Now, it doesn't always mean the man or the woman is out cheating or whatever, but every marriage hits a rough patch.
Yeah.
Every marriage don't, and I sound like I'm a married dude, but I'm not. But I swear I just talked to a lot of married people.
Yeah.
But a lot of them have said, like, you reach a point, it's not like the beginning, like, oh, I love you, baby, this and
Yeah.
that. And sooner or later, you kind of get tired of, like, looking at this person.
Yeah.
Which is it's understandable,
normal,
but it's
yeah.
kind of like it's one thing to be like, oh, like I'm kind of getting like annoyed with you a lot, so let me just back away, like let me move
In
from the
some
conversation.
cases. In some
But it's like
cases.
another to be like, let's have an open relationship. Like that's extreme. Yes, it's extreme.
I've
wow.
never been in an open relationship, but to each his own. If that makes you happy, do what you want to do. Now, is that the biblical way of things? Absolutely not. when God speaks of marriage, he speaks of a man and a woman. I don't have the exact quote from the Bible, or the scripture rather, but I know God speaks about the man and the woman, and the man being the leader of the household, and then the woman taken under him, but God being first. Through all that, the man taking the lead, the charge. But everybody don't go by that.
She definitely did. She wasn't hearing it, man.
She wasn't, but to be fair, Will he's known as Mike Lowry. He ain't known as Mike Lowry for no reason.
Yeah.
Not saying I don't have any evidence. We have proof on Jada, but we don't have no hard proof evidence on Will.
Yeah, that's true.
But in order for their relationship to get to that point, you know what I'm saying, things have to happen for two people to become disconnected. That's my opinion. But
I want to ask y'all this question, how y'all feel about a quote Will Smith said. Will asked Jada one of the biggest revelations that she had about love. And she said, you cannot make a person happy. You can make a person smile, you can make a person feel good, you can make a person laugh, but whether or not that person is happy is deeply and totally and utterly out of your control.
Couldn't agree anymore.
I can't either. You agree with that?
You
That you
agree?
can't make a person happy?
It's not. Wait, I thought you said it's not my job to make you happy.
No.
Is that
Well, she said
I thought that
you
was
can't. It's impossible to make a person happy. That's
Oh, no,
utterly
I
out of
don't.
your control.
It's not out of your control, but I think what she's meaning to say is my happiness is solely on me.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah,
what you
yeah.
bring to the table is what you bring to the table.
Mhm.
If I decide I want to deal with it, then that's solely on me. But it's really like I feel like relationships fail in today's day and time because someone is looking for someone to do what they need to do for themselves.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to make themselves happy.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you have to be selfish for a period of time.
Mhm.
Sometimes you have to do those things.
Yeah,
But
for
people
sure.
don't want to do that. I feel like that's what she was trying to say. Maybe she wasn't, but y'all tell me y'all thoughts, and maybe y'all can help me be more informative on this quote.
Nah, I think you actually
I think
you worded it correctly.
Yeah.
This is just the way that she said it that I can't agree with it. By saying that happiness is deeply and totally, utterly out of your control, I feel like you can take a depressed person and change their life around and make them happy. I feel like that's possible.
I agree. I agree with that. But I don't want to say but. I agree. I have to say but. Like, it's really up to you if you want to deal with somebody.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I
if
get where
someone
you're
ain't
coming
making
from.
you happy, then leave.
but
Simple
you
as
gotta
that.
let them know.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure, I agree. Like,
Definitely,
you
there
tell
needs
me
to
the
be-
woman's
there needs to be
perspective of this.
communication.
Mhm.
I don't agree with Jada. I just feel like in that interview and when she was talking, she was like grasping, like she was looking for excuses.
Yeah.
And even when she said entanglement, she didn't ever said the word affair.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that really bothered me, especially since when August came out and spoke about it, he was saying that he was in love with her, like making it seem like it was like this happy bubble that they were living in. But when she talks about it, she was very dismissive about it and didn't even care. So not only was she dismissive towards August, she was also dismissive towards Will.
I agree
Yeah,
with that.
Which
sure.
is
I agree
like,
with
it's
that.
hard to like trust her just because like you don't want to say what you did and you're just like, here's what I did, but let me just tell you another story to make it seem like I didn't. Just
But
grasping at straws.
to be fair to both of them, was it wrong from what we know as a Christian, from a marital standpoint? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But they both did verbally agree.
Yeah, they do.
And as a father that deals with child support and all that stuff, if you verbally agree to something, then that matters. You know what I mean? And if you have an agreement between two adults, then that holds if you have documentation of it. Now, we don't know if they actually have documentation of those things, but you know what I'm saying? Verbal agreement between two people do matter. But as a Christian, I would say do not cheat on your husband, do not cheat on your wife, do what's right.
Yeah.
If you don't love each other, God isn't going to hate you for not loving each other no more. Just get out of each other's life and be happy. And that's all I got to say about that. Well, we're going to go into a break right now. We just had our trending topics with a lot of information on here, but we're going to go to our break right now. We'll be back here shortly.
It's simply amazing all that it's done for me and how he set me free, gave me the victory. You know me and how I used to be. I could have been dead somewhere in the street, but now I'm a church boy, work boy. Some call him Jireh, cause he's a provider. Some call him best friend because he's a rider. He's on the inside of me. One God in the Holy Trinity. That's why I say some call him Papa, some call him God. It's whatever you're, he's my star. So some say he's the man upstairs who will be there no matter when or where. So God is my joy and the strength of my life. He took away my pain and took away my strife and gave me a wife and gave me a life and gave me salvation and his son paid the price. And now I'm a grown man crying cause I get choked up when I think about an innocent man dying. But because of that, I don't have to fry, so I'll serve G.O.D. till the day that I fly. Say, some call him Papa, some call him God. It's whatever you're, he's my star. So some say he's the man upstairs who will be there no matter when or where. So Jehovah Jireh, God my provider, Jehovah Nissi.
Welcome back to CYA Confessions of a Young Adult. Again, I'm your main host, Cedric Carter, with my man,
Elijah Peterson.
and then our guest.
Joya McKinley.
We're going to dive right into our second topic. I feel like the trending news and stuff like that kind of took over the first topic that we had, but I feel like we got a lot of great information out there. But with our second topic, I want to ask y'all, as young adults, do you ever feel like sometimes the things we digest through music, movies, TV, etc., has a negative impact on us as a Christian? And Joy, I'm going to start with you. How do you feel about that question?
I feel like, especially as a young adult, it's like it's hard to watch TV shows and like movies that that are like positive. And when I say positive, the only example I can give that there's like a TV show called Lucifer, and it's about like the devil on like Earth, like living his life. And so I've never actually watched it because I was like, I don't want to watch a show about the devil.
Yeah.
But like hearing my friends, they're talking about like it's hard to not see the devil in the bad light in that show because they put him in as such like as this good person. Like he still does bad stuff, but he's like attractive and he's like helps with the criminal basis, like helps with like the police. That's what I'm trying to say. And so like it puts him in this good light. So you're just kind of like, well, maybe the devil's not so bad, even though that's not biblical at all. So I feel like there's always shows that are trying to like test the waters between good and evil and trying to make it seem like, well, it's not that bad. I feel like.
I would say, if I'm not mistaken, don't quote me 100% on this, but I believe the Bible speaks about the aura of the devil's presence.
Yeah.
I think I can't remember the specific details. I hate that I can't remember right this second. But to go further on this topic, I would say I feel like it's 50-50. You have to have self-control.
Yeah.
And you can't allow everything. You can't allow something you know that is fake and acted out have such an impact on you. Like when it comes to TV shows and stuff like that. Now, music is one thing, because hip-hop, these rappers, these black rappers, let me say that, are ignorantly, out here killing each other, but at the same time they yelling Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
So music, to me, has the most detrimental impact, not only on just the black community, but the world as altogether. There aren't many rappers that can really rap without the violence.
Yeah.
And in a way to where it's different if you're telling a story of things you've gone through, and this and that, from
You glamorize
dudes rapping about you pull up, I'm gonna shoot the 40 at you, and you know what I'm saying. Now I'm not saying I don't listen to that music, but you know what I mean. Like it's contradicting. It's hypocritical. But music definitely can. I can tell you a short story before I let Eli speak. I remember, I don't know how old I was, but it was so funny, man. I would have to be between the ages of maybe like 10 to maybe like 13, 14. And in our household, we weren't really allowed to like listen to hip hop. We could listen to music, like my parents would play old school music, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. But hip hop was never really introduced to us. And then once we got out in the neighborhoods, we started hanging around friends. Not doing anything bad, but of course they come up from a different upbringing than us. So we start hearing the music that they're listening to. They're cussing and stuff like that. So like sooner or later, me and my brother basically started repeating like what the rappers are saying and this and that. Of course we got in trouble and our parents got on us for it. But I just wanted to say that music has a very great mental impact on a lot of individuals, and they don't realize it. I feel like some music even causes depression. Music can make you fall in love, as the old seasoned saints that act like they ain't used to have no good old school music, you know what I'm saying, that love making music, as they call it. But as far as the TV shows and stuff like that, for me, I really don't watch TV that much. I really don't even watch the news. Anything I find out is strictly from Facebook.
Nah, low-key, for real.
Facebook is the new news,
Twitter.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like...
If you're older.
Huh?
I said if you're older.
What do you mean?
Facebook is
She don't do Facebook.
What do you do?
It's Twitter or like Google search.
I used to be on Twitter, but well, I still have a Twitter, but I'm not really as active on it.
See, that's how you know we getting old. Because I'll be like, man, Twitter it's not Facebook.
Yeah, well, no, Twitter.
And then they be like,
do be popular.
Facebook is not Twitter.
I'm just not on it as actively like that.
Yeah.
Like I used to. Now, back when I was 21 and before I had my son and stuff like that, like I was heavy on Twitter. I had a lot of followers and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Some stuff popped off and I had to like ghost. You know what I'm saying? I had to get out of there. But that's neither here nor there. But I'm gonna let you give some of your opinions.
All right, well, you touched on the music factor. I'm gonna touch on like the movies. I feel like a lot of movies today, it's like they solve all their problems through sex. I hate to say it, but yeah, that's what they do. So now, and are we easily influenced? Let's just say that, like you said, you got to have the mental capacity to handle this, and this generation can't. So we think we can solve all our problems through sex, but let's say your partner is not willing to have sex with you, and now your relationship, you comparing it to the movie like, oh yeah, we can just have sex and everything will be okay, but that's not reality.
What's that, 50 Shades
So we have to separate reality from these TV shows that we're doing, and I don't know why we can't do that.
It's entertaining. It is.
That's all it should be. It's
What's
just entertainment.
Though? The movie or the act of it?
It's more.
Good
I want to say both, because
That's a good
like,
question.
to give an example, I grew up on watching Fast and the Furious. And so all I wanted to do was buy a fast car and drag race, and that's illegal. But it's kind of like when the movie, it's like, oh, it's fun. Like there's a rush. Like it's just it looks nice, but in reality, it's like that equals
tickets.
Yeah,
they don't never get pulled over.
They don't never get pulled over.
Always get away.
I would say they never go to jail, but they have gone to jail a few times.
No, that's a great point.
No, for sure.
I think with movies, oh, it's so much because I have a lot of favorite movies that's like kind of. I like the Fast and the Furious series. I like the Godfather series.
See?
I like stuff like that, mob mentality. I don't know why, but I just like for someone to just like, if you gonna be a, see, I almost said something. If you
Number
gonna
one.
be big and bad, show you big and bad.
Yeah.
I know it's a movie, but stuff like this happens in real life. You know
No,
what
for
I
sure.
mean? So it's like, for whatever reason, something in my brain is wired to like those type of movies.
It's like they don't have any consequences, like or like realistic consequences, and if they do, it's kind of like they get out of it quick.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like if they
Busting
portrayed
out
what
the next
happened
day.
in real life, like if you become a mobster, you're going to live the rest of your life
That you
in a
have, there's no
4x4
way out
cell.
of it. Yeah, that's
And
true.
I feel like if they showed that, maybe people like, yeah, I don't want to be a mobster. I don't want to live that
Yeah.
life.
It's the way they
True.
portray it.
But some people are brought into that though, are raised into
That
that.
is also true.
Especially in Mexico, I have friends that have family in Mexico. That stuff is
Mhm.
real. Like the Narcos series on Netflix, Narcos Mexico. I can't remember the other one, but the one I think it started with Pablo Escobar. Everybody knows Pablo Escobar, and then I believe it went to Felix, if I'm not mistaken. Then from Felix, it went to the Hernandez brothers. See, I know all this stuff, and you know what I'm saying. But I just like that type of stuff.
No.
But it's unfortunate stuff like that really happens. But I'm not about to be out here on the corner, or you know what I'm saying, walking around with a gun just to protect myself or
Yeah.
whatever and stuff like that. So, some people don't really have a choice. I don't say they don't have a choice. Well, some people don't because they raised into it. You know what I'm saying? Like their family is the mob life, so you're catered to that lifestyle. Like in a sense, like Pablo Escobar's, his children are still like well known. Now they aren't that I'm aware of. They aren't the head of whatever drug cartel he was over. I can't remember the name, but you know what I'm saying. You're always in that life, like no matter what. And that's one thing that's a different lifestyle. Like you really could die any day,
Any day.
Yeah.
and your chances of survival are very. I don't know. I have a question for y'all. So, at what point do you think it's okay for? We're young adults, so we can go the stage under us.
Mhm.
So the teenage to the children. At what age do you think it's appropriate? Let me use that word, appropriate, for a child to, since the word in the question is digest.
Mhm.
What age do you think is appropriate for a teenager or a young adult to digest such vulgar actions and stuff like that?
Well, I'm gonna just say based off my two kids,
Mm-hmm.
it depends on their mental state, and to me, my younger son is more. I feel like he will be more mentally ready to handle those things than my older son because it's just the way that they develop. My older son, one, he has ADHD. He can't sit down for nothing, man. So that alone,
Yeah.
it hinders him at school a little bit. So I feel like it'll be harder for him to grasp a couple things like racial stuff. He struggles noticing like racial moments. He don't notice it quickly because he's too focused looking at cards or he's looking at something else, and he'll miss something real quick. But my youngest son, he knows. He knows when there's danger around. He'll run up on me. My oldest son will be somewhere playing, and we're trying to go.
Yeah.
So I just feel like it depends on where your child is at. So for my oldest, I would say maybe not till 17, 18. I'm not going to expose him to anything. But my youngest, I think he'll be ready probably like 14, 15.
So do you
Teenagers for sure. Anything before a teenager, no.
Now, as since we're parents now, we all have our past.
Yeah.
None of us have lived the. Me and Joya are preacher's kids. We haven't lived the most straight line. At least I haven't. I have a child out of wedlock, so I can't. You know what I'm saying? I can't even. But then you have the factor of the streets
Yeah.
teaches the kids in a sense.
Yeah, that's real too. That's real.
So how do you feel say one of your, say it's the son that has ADHD. If he gets into middle school or whatever, and in middle school, how old are you in middle school? 12?
12.
12,
11,
13.
yeah.
So you get to that point, and you know he's finding out curse words, of course. I feel like they learned it at a way younger age.
Oh
now.
yeah, all they gotta do is go
But
on
they have the
YouTube
cuss
nowadays.
words. They have, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's big on NBA YoungBoy now. These young
Disgusting.
kids. So like they listen to this music and then they have their friends. How would you feel if your son came home like, yo, Dad, you know, such and such did this and that. I don't know of a situation, but like if he was to do that, how do you feel like you would respond to your son being in not in that environment,
Like
but you know
close
what I
to
mean?
violence,
Not necessarily close to it, but that like
or
it
like he was
reached him.
participating in it.
Being
Well,
exposed to something
Yeah,
that you didn't
exposed. That's the
expose.
word, exposed. Not even participating in it,
Uh,
but
well, at his mom's house, his mom doesn't live in a gray area, so he's exposed to a lot that he shouldn't be exposed to. And it's kind of hard to talk to him about it. He don't really want to talk about it. He'll tune me out. So when he starts tuning me out, I'll stop. I don't believe in hindering him or,
yeah.
you know. So if he don't want to talk about it, I'll leave it alone. And that's most of the topics when it comes to his mom's house. He just doesn't want to talk about it. So it's kind of, that's tough.
What about you, Joya?
For me personally, I was just raised, me and my sister, we make this joke where like we couldn't listen to anything but gospel music for like the longest time. And even, we could only listen to gospel music and Radio
How dare
Disney.
you, Pastor?
No, like it was mostly on my mom's end, which is kind of funny. But she did it for a reason, and her biggest reason was just like she wanted us like have age appropriate music. Like
For sure.
if we're like 6 years old, we're not listening to music that's not meant for 6-year-olds, and we're
For
like
sure.
singing
For
a
sure.
song about it. So I feel like just trying to make the environment as appropriate as possible, and when the time comes where like I am exposed to something that I shouldn't have been exposed to, is just like having that conversation. But then like the conversation is probably not as mature. Just be like, hey, I know that in their family they can say these words and they can do those actions, but here we don't do that.
That's
And
probably
then-
what I need to do, because I
yeah.
talk to my son like they grown men.
No, I
And
do
then
too.
and
I
have
don't
these
like-
conversations when they're
lie.
grown, because like we can have same conversations over and over again, like conversations about cussing as a 6-year-old, but that conversation is going to be different when I'm 16. Like it's a little bit more like stricter, it's a little bit more mature, because I'm not the same mindset as I was when I was
Yeah.
6 years old.
For sure.
So I just feel like having that conversation in doses, and as they reach a certain level of maturity, the conversation gets deeper and it gets a little bit longer.
For sure. I can agree with that. Not necessarily. Well, I agree with it, but I can understand where you're coming from. You know what I mean? I think.
Then again, I don't have kids.
True, but you know what I mean. You experience things for your own self. So let me ask you this. So at what age? Not that you listened to it, but at what age were you exposed to music outside of gospel music?
Well,
Outside of your home.
outside like I listened to rap with my dad, like 90s rap, because he was big about that, but like actual hip hop, like current, I think that was probably like, I don't know, when I'm trying to give dates and I don't remember, because I would be in the car with my brother and my brother would listen to rap music, and so yeah, that was my only outlet was my brother. But I want to say truly was like 5th grade and 6th
Fifth
grade,
grade,
because I
okay.
remember some of my people like talking about like who's do you know who Tupac is? Do you know who Big is? And I'm like, I don't know who these people are. I'm sorry. And so I remember I used to get clowned about that. So I was like,
Really?
I got to go home and find out who Tupac
See,
is.
No, yeah,
This
that's
is-
real.
this
That's
is-
peer pressure.
No,
That's
for real. So that's why I asked you that. So because I wanted to see if you was gonna dig into the peer pressure aspect of it, because the question talks about digesting from music, movies, and stuff like that. So do you feel you were peer pressure
Oh,
not only to
definitely.
listen to it, but to engage in some of the activities that your friends, or even if they weren't your friends, those you went to school with, like some of the activities that they participated in? Did you feel like, man, in order for me to be cool, I have to do these type of things? Like,
Yeah,
you know
for
what I'm
sure.
saying? That's why
I did,
I asked
for
you
sure.
that question, because I wanted to see if you were
More
doing
in
that.
middle school. I think I grew up a little bit more and try to like found myself more in high school, but definitely in middle school when I was a little bit more sheltered, I was like, I don't want to be clowned. I don't want to be like be an outsider, especially during middle school time, which is like kids are awful during that age. So you kind of just like, I don't want to be on
That's
the
that
outskirts.
puberty
I
stage.
want to
We all,
I
we
want
all
to blend
flipping all
in and
over
not
the
get made
place.
fun of.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. What about you, Eli? What age were? Well, you said you got.
I had my
stories,
first
bro.
child at 14. That tells you a lot right there.
It sure does.
But I feel like for me, moving to Dallas, man, these females out here bold. So I'm coming from Minnesota where it's the old school way.
I didn't know you was from Minnesota, man.
Get out of here. But yeah, it's the old school way where you have to go to the female and, you know, buy the chocolates, buy the flowers, take them on dates and all that. But nah, when I came to Dallas, man, it was different. So
when you say different, elaborate further, please.
I can't go into details.
Well, you ain't got to go into great detail, but just the differences from. So you're saying in Minnesota you had to be more of the upfront guy? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
But in Dallas,
Yeah.
you don't
Open the
necessarily
door,
have to
you
do
know.
that.
Yeah, little
They
stuff.
come to you.
I'm on this side of the sidewalk. You're not gonna be close to the street. It's just a little stuff. We don't do that stuff in Dallas. You know what I'm saying? We let all that go. But dang, what was I about to say? I lost my train of thought.
No, I think that's funny because like you're not the first person who has said that. Like I knew a friend who she moved from Hawaii, which I don't know why she did that, but
It's a different world. I'm telling
she
you.
moved from Hawaii and she moved to Texas, and she was just like, the people in Texas are different.
Yeah.
And it's just like she said that we were meaner, and then that we're very like aggressive, like, and not aggressive in a bad way, but we're very like all up in your face. And I'm just like, and it's just weird that you have said that and you're from Minnesota.
Yeah, it's a whole different world, man. You don't know until you go. Like once you leave Texas, you'll be like, man.
Yeah,
Texas is like-
I've never, for an extended period of time, I haven't lived anywhere else outside of Texas. The only close experience I can say I had to that was when I was, how was that? I was 17, and we had went to Las Vegas for a basketball tournament. It was like the national, you know, tournament that's in Vegas and stuff like that. And that's like
up.
you would always hear about what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I actually went out there, and like a lot of the women thought I was older than like 17 years old. So like I have women coming up to me or whatever, thinking I'm older. And I'm like, yo, like I'm only 7. Yeah, I'm only 17, but they don't really care about that. You know what I mean? But it's like going back to like what you're exposed to and this and that. I feel like for me, man, I could really go so many ways with this. For me, I've always had some self-control. I ain't gonna say I had all. I always had that guilt factor. And I'm such a thinker. I think of every possibility. Like, okay, if I do this, what's the outcome of this? Or if I do that, what's the outcome of that? So I always have like that slight guilt factor in certain things, you know what I mean? But certain things is like, I don't know, because I can go my brain is everywhere. And I feel like I can go so many ways with that. But I'll let you get back to your point you were making before we go into
okay, yeah. Well, anyways, all right. There's a thing. I don't know if you ever heard the term like Minnesota nice, but basically what that means is like something can go wrong, and you won't care about it. Like, let's say a waitress mess up your order, and you'd be like, well, that's all right. I'll eat it anyways. It's whatever. Nah, that don't happen in Texas. So,
you mess up orders down here.
yeah, y'all sending it back, getting your money back, all
My
types,
fries is
discount
cold.
for the next trip. We didn't do all that. But yeah,
Any
when I first came
vouchers,
to
any
Texas,
all that?
look, he already ready. When I first came to Texas, I was seen like as the punk or whatever because I was always nice, I was always forgiving. So I had to change, and my friends, I'm gonna get back to the girl aspect. I would wait. Like, I thought it was cool to wait, to have intercourse. And they'll come up to me and be like, man, I hit on the first night. I'm like, man, how you hit on the first night? That's impossible, man. So, you know, I got curious. And, you know, I had my first time. And first time was the time I had my son when I was 14.
Oh man.
I messed up, man. I shouldn't have came to Dallas. Mama, I blame you. We should have stayed in Minnesota.
Stop.
Okay, so since she went that route, so let me ask you, do you think, oh man, so do you think it was so you said you felt like you were the punk.
Yeah.
You thought it was cool to wait, which I think that is amazing of a kid
It was amazing.
at that time.
I thought it was amazing, but when it happened, I was like, I've been missing out.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to keep it real. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I thought I was missing out. But, like I told y'all, I had my first child at 14. That definitely was a consequence. God told me you should
Do
have
you
waited.
think that was a consequence, though?
For sure. For sure. Not really. He's a blessing. I'm not going to say, like,
So
I
the
love my kids.
So you felt like the consequence was having.
The consequences was I had to become an adult
Yeah.
at 14.
Okay.
You know, I wasn't able to go to the park whenever I wanted or go outside whenever I wanted. I had to take care of my son, you know.
Yeah.
So that was my consequence. Not saying having the child was really a consequence. It's just what comes with having the child.
Okay. I got the package that's with all that. Okay. So do you feel like the music you were listening to at that time when you were around your friends, or the movies y'all used to watch, or
No, it was them.
whatever y'all used to do?
It was
at
them.
the-
I had bad friends, y'all. I didn't know who to be friends with. I just
So
went for
do
the
you
first
think
people.
that's part of the Minnesota Nice? Or
Yeah,
what made you
for sure.
like engage in such activity?
Just bad influences, basically.
Ooh. Well, I can't say I was always you know what I'm saying? I wasn't always the good
But
kid.
we were kids, you know, we were all kids. Everybody, we are a different generation, man. I
We
feel
are.
like a lot of people here in Texas are grown at 15. Like we in Mexico. Y'all so close to Mexico. Y'all done picked up that tradition. You grown at 15
Well,
in
what is it
Texas.
that's,
I don't know about that.
what-
Y'all so close to Mexico.
what's
Y'all
the-
might as
what-
well go
what's
to the
the-
Laos
what's the
of
thing that
Mexico.
The Hispanics have what's the party they have?
That-
Is it the Sweet 16?
That
Quinceañera.
quinceañera at
The
16,
quinceañera
yeah,
at
that's
16,
what y'all
right?
need to start doing. Y'all done already brought them here. Black people, we need to start having quinceañeras in Texas for every race.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well we're gonna wrap up that topic on that note. And we're gonna go right into our spill the beans segment.
Oh
And
Lord, I done spilled the beans already.
You have.
You have.
So
Y'all got it.
since we have a guest,
I'm off
I'm
on
gonna
this
start
segment.
with Joya on our spill the beans. And you see we don't hold back up here. So I'm gonna give you. I'll let you.
Yeah, y'all got this segment.
And you
We got a guest to
spill-
fill in too.
You
Yeah, we
spill the
Gucci.
beans on any. How about we do this? Let's spill the beans on what shifted the course of our mental capacity as kids.
Oh, that's
Wow. Okay. I think for me personally, I think I've always looked different than my friends, whether it's race, whether it's weight, how my hair was. So it's just like me not knowing that I was different, and then being around people who felt the need to point out my difference constantly, and then just having to deal with that my entire life, and just I think I was made to feel insecure at a very young age. Like, let's say I was like at 8 years old, like I realized stuff that I shouldn't have realized at 8 years old. And so that caused,
Give us an example. I don't want to cut you off, but I don't want you to forget that. Like, you're right in the zone right there. Give us an example. of that.
growing up, a lot of my friends were of like really small girls, like skinny.
Uh-huh.
And so you have me, who's not that size, who's not that weight at all. And then you kind of like get the comments where like, you're a little bit bigger than that. Like, oh, why
Yeah.
do we wear 2 pieces and you wear 1 pieces? Why is that? Like, why
Yeah.
does, like, who?
Spill the beans. Spill the beans.
And so like it's just like you go through that and you're like, well, and you so at 8 years old it's kind of just already like, yeah, I'm ugly, like I'm not up to their standards and I'm not ever going to be the best. So just at a young age, already knowing and telling myself that I'm second best, and so having to having that mentality for like, let's say 10 years, and then me as an adult trying to like have confidence in myself, trying to rebuild that, it's kind of hard because I feel like as a youngin, I should have like already been building myself up, not building myself down.
So, okay, so do you have any questions for Link Dre before I ask another one?
No, that's deep.
Okay, so
I'm not gonna even elaborate.
do you think you made some wrong choices solely off that one thing? When I say one thing, I mean the you having to build your own, reputation for yourself. Like, it doesn't matter if I'm not in a two-piece or this and that. Do you feel like you did some things that you shouldn't have done because that, like, this is why I'm asking you, because of that, like, mentality, that created mentality, unfortunately, that you had to go through?
I know it's, okay. When I felt like people were hurting me, I felt like, as a kid, okay, let me say this. As a kid, I was nice. I was very nice, I was very polite. But like, the one through like years of people like talking down to me, calling me out my name, and like making fun of me, it's kind of just like, well, I don't want to be nice anymore if you don't want to be nice to me. So I've kind of like, in middle school, I was a rude kid. And I would be like, make sure that I was the first to make fun of somebody else so they wouldn't make fun of me. And so like,
you would attack.
Yeah.
You were the element of surprise, basically.
I would attack first.
Okay. And do you have any regrets?
Some.
Or do you feel like some people, I don't want to say deserve, but some people do deserve. Like, some people deserved either because they tried to pick on you or said things about you, or you just knew in order for you to win this battle, you had to hit first type of thing.
Yeah.
I feel like in the times where I was like, there was like no need for me to talk or me to be mean to that person. I feel like that was like, I should have never said those words. But when there was like times where I was just like, oh, you want to be disrespectful to me? I'll be disrespectful back. Those I don't regret, even though I said some choice words, and I've sometimes have gotten physical with people. So I do kind of regret those decisions, but I know that they made me who I am. And
What you laughing at?
Why are you laughing? And like, that was my mindset. I was tired of people talking about me, so I was like, you know what? We're gonna talk about you.
Yeah.
Which is not always
real.
a good.
I can understand that. Is that all the beans you have to spill?
Yeah, that's all the beans I have.
Alrighty. Well, I guess
You're going next or what?
Do you want me? I feel like you already spilled some beans.
did.
But, before we got into spill the beans, you opened the bag. Now we spilling it. But I feel like my spill the beans.
Hold on. Before you go, Darius Walker, I know you got some beans. You always commenting. Spill some beans, Darius Walker.
I feel like my spill the beans. So last episode, my spill the beans was I love beautiful women.
Yeah.
So my spill the beans this week is I think I need therapy, but let me break down what I mean when I say
A lot of us do, man.
So you see how I'm able to ask you these very articulate, deep questions that make you get to the root of why you did certain things? I think because I don't want to say that ability, but I'm able to ask these certain questions. I ask myself these questions, and I feel like I never get anywhere as far as progress to figuring something out for within myself. So regardless of if it comes to sex, if it comes to drugs, I don't do drugs. But anything that's in that like aura, I can never I can never figure it out. Why? I think a lot of ways I know why I am the way I am, but that would have to be said to like a therapist. I couldn't say some of this stuff on here, you know what I mean? But like,
We need to have a therapist on call for Spill the Beans.
we do.
We actually, First Lady,
McKinley,
what's up?
First Lady,
We need you to have a telephone at the crib.
Which is gonna be a new thing we added on within a few next episodes. But I feel like I need therapy for certain things. Just to, I understand a lot of stuff. I'm introverted. Like, I'm really bad. Like, I really can just sit to myself and not be bothered, have music playing, and really like go deep into thoughts. And I feel like I've figured out why I'm the way I am. but I need to know why do I continue to do it. That's the part I'm struggling with. That's what I wanted to get to. Regardless if it's, like I said, sex or drugs, I don't do drugs. I really don't, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to give out the answer, but I feel like I just did because I said one thing I didn't do anymore. You see what I'm saying? But, like, I feel like you know what's right from wrong.
Yeah.
But you have that human element of you that's like, especially as a man, like, you have that mode where a man goes through puberty, and then he goes through the learning how to be a man. Then a man reaches his prime.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then the prime of a man is like, you feel like you on this like elevated stage, not from like I got money, I can do whatever type of thing, but you really feel like you have an aura, like, you know what I mean, about you. Not that you can get whatever girl you want or anything like that. Speaking for me, it's more so just like I need someone to help me figure out
Your
something.
triggers.
Yeah, that's what it is. I need the triggers
Yeah.
because when the triggers hit, it's like a gun. The gun gonna shoot unless it's on safe. I need to learn how to put the gun back on safe and not shoot the gun. You see what I'm saying? And that's really like
That's
Joyce
hard,
McKinley
man.
responded, yes, I feel like we need to talk one-on-one. We do. We do. But, like, I'm not, like, you just actually really helped me more than you even realize.
Mm-hmm.
It's the triggers that I have a hard time, like, not doing. You see what I'm saying? Like, I know it's not good to shoot the gun, but it's almost like the old saying, if there's not a crowd, then why not shoot the gun?
Oh yeah,
What?
I've
Yeah.
heard that.
Like it's almost towards like if you live in the country, you shoot the gun in the air. It has to come down, but just don't be anywhere towards where you shot the gun up towards.
Mhm.
But if you shoot it in the crowd, it's gonna hit people.
Oh.
So why shoot the gun? But if you're gonna shoot it, make sure nobody's around. You see what I'm saying? But I think, yeah, that's one thing. Like, I need help with the triggers.
Yeah.
Like that, I need to know like Cedric, you gotta put the gun back on safe. Like, I know you feeling good about the situation, you know what I'm saying? Or if I like someone, or you know, this and that. I need to learn how to like put the gun back on safe. Like, you just helped me more than you like. I really appreciate that. I knew you could help me get to that. One of y'all was going, you know what I'm saying? But
Do you write? Like, do you journal?
I don't, but I remember a lot of stuff. I have selective memory. I remember what I care about, not
Yeah.
what really. And that's unfortunate for me to say, but I remember like what the things I really care about, not the stuff that I really not so much care about.
So I know that's a way like to help with triggers. If you just like write out your day and you're
Mhm.
able to like write the behavior beforehand, you're like, wow, that behavior before caused me to do what I don't like to do, and so you make note of it and you try to like avoid that behavior. There's a word for it. I can't think of it, but that before behavior.
All right, Darius actually has some beans, man.
What did he say?
He says, "Ah man, bruh, my beans is that this week has been against me, and I've been trying to carry the load by myself, and that's obviously not okay." Hey, I think we all do this, Darius. I will definitely try to handle some of my problems myself before I even think about giving it to God.
Nah, that's
And that's a thing that we all struggle with, I
Yeah.
think.
I do, boy. But that's part of what I know the answers for a lot of stuff,
Mhm.
but I feel like that's like a detriment to like.
Yeah, I can't help it. It's a very ingrained habit to me to be like, I need to control this situation by myself,
Yes, yes.
which is.
I think it's
not
because we
healthy.
want an immediate fix, but really it takes.
We live in a
Yeah.
microwave
Years.
society.
Yeah.
That is true. We live in a microwave society. And Darius, I would say, don't feel like you have to do that, but only worry about what you can control, not what
Sure.
you can't control. Keep it in God's hands. Pray. And before we leave our show, I want to make sure I say the golden rule, which is do unto others as you would have others do unto you. And we want to leave on that note today. I want to thank Joy, our guest, for coming on our show with great information. Then my co-host, my man,
Elijah Peterson.
and I am Cedric Carter again. And we will be back with you guys soon. Peace and love, Raleigh Friendship Baptist Church, CYA, baby!
I pray for vision, I pray for wisdom, I pray for weapons against the system. I pray for freedom to free the victims, to heal the brain, no pain inflict them. I pray for real, I pray for real. I talk to God, then wait for real. Can't fake the fun, can't fake the feel. I pray for fun, I pray for real, I pray for y'all.